Saturday today. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Lisa, and this is my gardening slash nature slash kindness channel on YouTube. And today we're doing a backyard garden tour live. I participate in a collaboration with Grandma Sandy. She is the host of Garden Tour Saturday. And this is every Saturday, and she has all these people that participate. The regular co-hosts are Suffolk Susie in Long Island, New York, Patricia and Cube in the southern United States, and Barbie Daly Rule Life in the mountains of Washington State. And these are all lovely gardening channels. We're all in different growing zones, so it's super fun and interesting to see what everybody is up to every Saturday in their garden. And as far as I know, I'm the only Canadian that participates in Garden Tour Saturday. If you know of any other Canadian YouTubers that are participating in Garden Tour Saturday, let me know in the chat or a comment later after you watch this in the replay. I would love to connect with other Canadian garden channels who are interested in doing Garden Tour Saturday. But for now, I am the lonesome Canadian in the Great White North. This is my garden on Vancouver Island. And we're going to start with checking out the backyard vegetable garden. I'll give you a little turnaround. We are in the backyard right now. I haven't really shown this garden much this spring. I did a live plant with me here, which was actually a viewer requested video, which I really love doing. But as far as edited videos go, I have way too much going on right now to be making a edited backyard garden tour. I am currently working on a fairy garden video. Sneak peek right there. We're not going to get into it today. And this fairy garden video has taken me a long time to edit. I'm on day 3 and I'm not even 50% done the editing on this fairy garden video. So it'll be done by this Thursday. But I have no time to film and edit other videos. So now let's check out the vegetable garden. This is my kale jungle right here. I need to start eating more of the kale. Honestly, I've been eating more of the flowers than I have the kale itself, which is kind of defeating the purpose. But that being said, kale flowers and broccoli flowers are super delicious. Do not hesitate to eat them. Very, very good. Let's have a snack while we're here. There's a flower. Oh my gosh, they're so flavorful. I don't know why more people don't eat their kale and broccoli flowers. And I'm sure these are chock full of good nutrition. So delicious. So I do have a lot of kale and some kale and broccoli flowers forming. And I tend to eat the flowers more than the actual kale and broccoli these days. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. They are good raw. You can put them in salads, chow mein, spaghetti sauce, whatever you eat a lot of, they will add a punch of flavor to your dishes, and they're super beautiful. And most people will find them a little bit unusual. If you are serving your dish to somebody who is not familiar with edible flowers, they might find them unique. Right in front of me, these apparently are turnips. I've never actually grown them, but I planted seeds here. And this is what the foliage is looking like. I'm really curious if I should actually go through and thin these. I probably should, like most vegetables, but for now, I haven't thinned them out yet. They seem to be growing okay. They were planted quite a while ago, but so far, this is what they look like. And in my Plant With Me video, we planted, I want to say about 16 potatoes and 160 onions. And the potatoes are just starting to come up. We can finally see the foliage here. These are red Viking potatoes. and I have mixed them with some blue Russian potatoes, and I have onions planted absolutely everywhere. I mean, we did 160 in the video, and I had already planted some onions. So they are literally here, there, and everywhere. It is going to be definitely a very onion abundant growing season. If we come up, you can see my raspberry bushes have started to grow. But what is growing almost more vigorously than the raspberries are my mint bushes. This was something I planted years ago, my first year of gardening here. And I knew I shouldn't plant mint in the vegetable garden, but of course I did it anyways, not in a pot. And I ended up with 6-foot mint hedges that took me several years to get rid of, and they come back every year from the tiniest bit of root. But I'm not really mad about it because at this point I don't care anymore, and mint tastes delicious. No substitute. You can make tea with it. You can eat it raw. It's so good. If you want, you could put it in a salad. You could put it in a savory dish. It is really just simply delicious. And if we come over here, you can see my pea plants are being overrun apparently by, what is this? What in the world is this? This looks like a broccoli or a kale that has gone bananas. Like, look at that growth pattern. That is so weird. It is overtaking my pea trellis here. Very interesting. I haven't really looked at the garden too much myself in the last little while. And then these carrots. Carrots are going bonkers out here. These were actually from last fall. I didn't plant new ones. They were sort of leftovers that I let them sit in the ground all winter. And this is what they look like. I should probably pull them out soon, but I'm gonna let them get a little bit bigger first, I think. If we come over this way, we have one lonesome blueberry bush. I have quite a few blueberry bushes in this garden. This is one of the smallest, and more of them are over there, but a few little flowers on here. And you know what? You guys, I've been waiting to do this. I've been waiting for the right video to film this, because what I like to do on YouTube is make an edited video, and then I take little clips from the edited video and turn them into shorts, because I find on YouTube, if I do that, people will watch my short video, lots of people will watch the shorts, and then hello from Serbia, Metzarala, I'm probably saying your name wrong, but hello, greetings, I'm on Vancouver Island. This is my garden, yes, my backyard vegetable garden. We will look at other things too, but we're starting in the vegetable garden. Hello, GT Group Junior grows at Alaska. I cannot even talk this morning. J Rogs 4. I bet she's got a big bush. I have quite a few bigger blueberry bushes if you want to see a bigger one. Here's a bigger one. This one has lots and lots of flowers. And what I was going to say before the chat started, oh my gosh, it is Willow. The amazing Willow is here. Good morning, Willow. I am so excited whenever I see your videos. They just bring me so much joy. What we're going to do, which I was starting to talk about, and then I got distracted. I'm very, very distractible. It's one of my downfalls, actually, how distracted. I have a hard time getting through tasks because I get so distracted, but you also have a garden. That is wonderful. What we're going to do is a blueberry flower taste test. I have not done this on YouTube. I've been waiting for the right moment to do this. I have never tried blueberry flowers. If you've been around my channel for a while, you know that I've been indulging in edible flowers. I have tons of flowers in my garden. Over the last year, I've been researching flowers, and I've learned a lot of them are edible, and I'm tasting them. So I'm going to give you guys the privilege of being the very first people on the internet to watch me eat a blueberry flower. So here's my blueberry bush, and we're gonna pick a flower. Maybe we should even pick 2 flowers, I'm not sure, because they're so tiny. And we're gonna give it a taste test. I think I'm going to pick a couple because they are so small, these flowers. And here we go. Just going to pluck them in. Oh, wow. Holy doodle. Wow, not what I was thinking. It's got a sour taste. I can't believe it. Since I started my flower taste testing journey, that was last summer, this is the very first flower that legitimately tastes sour. Very, very interesting. I'm gonna try another one just for fun because that was so interesting. I'm kind of sacrificing the blueberries, but I don't care. You can see my garden. I will check it out later. Yeah, no question. This is a very, very sour flavor. Not tart and not bitter, but sour. Never in a million years would I have expected a blueberry flower to taste like this. I don't mind it, but I'm not really sure what it would complement in terms of foods. Like if you were creating a dish or a drink or a dessert, what would that sour punch complement? I'm not sure. I probably wouldn't honestly put it in a salad. Like, I don't hate it, but it's a really weird flavor. Very, very strange. Just gonna have a little drink, rinse my mouth. Yeah, so that was a morning experience. I have to say, that blueberry flavor just woke me up. I was feeling kind of lethargic this morning, and that just, that woke up all of my senses right there. So let's get back to the vegetable garden right here. Let's check out this lettuce. This was actually planted last fall, and it is doing super well. I need to start eating it, actually. I haven't yet. And I do believe another critter has beat me to it. And that's okay because there's still plenty for me to eat, but somebody else has been eating here, it looks like. So that is interesting. And if we come over a little further, more critters have been eating from this little area. I have so many different greens planted. These are a form of giant mustard seedlings that I started in milk jugs and started transplanting. I don't think I ever finished, but those ones are doing better. A lot of my other little transplants, you can see these red ones, I believe are Swiss chard. They're doing okay, but some of my other little guys have been eaten, demolished. I do think some birds came in here. There have been a ton of birds in the garden lately, and I think it was the birds, although I can't say for sure. I have had the lizard. So I've been talking about these lizards in my garden that just showed up last summer for the first time ever. And I have to say, I do believe there's at least two that live in my garden. And I've showed them maybe 4 times on this channel. And every morning, not always in the morning, but often I'll look out the window. The kitchen overlooks the back garden. And yesterday, I saw my lizard friend, who normally I see him on the fence, and sometimes he migrates into the, let me just show you. Usually he is way over at the far end on the fence, and sometimes he migrates just a little bit into the rocky area of the slope. But yesterday I saw him, he was on the move. He went all the way from the other side, and he literally ran across this whole slope. And I saw the whole thing from my window. I was just like, wow, he is on an adventure, this tiny little lizard. They're both pretty small. One of them is much smaller than the other one. But I just love watching these little lizards run through the garden. And I can't help but wonder if possibly the lizard has been eating my seedlings. I don't know, but I've heard that some lizards will eat fruits and vegetables. I'm not super familiar with lizards in general. I've never had a pet lizard. This is the first time lizards have entered my garden in the last year. But I do wonder, because he was fairly close to the vegetable garden, has he ventured in here? The other interesting development that I've noticed in my garden recently. As I showed earlier in the year, much earlier, the snakes that were taunting me. I'm very afraid of the snakes, but I'm starting to get accustomed to them. They were showing up so often in my garden, and they completely disappeared. I haven't seen them in about, I'm gonna say a month, maybe a month and a half. It's been a while, probably the last video. Whenever I showed that snake last, that's the last time I saw it. And I can't help but wonder, in that video, I was mowing the lawn and I wasn't trying to purposely scare the snake. I wasn't trying to like give it nightmares, if you want to say that. But what happened was, I thought, oh, this would be interesting. I'm really curious how brave the snake is. And I wasn't going to hurt it, but I drove the lawnmower like, I want to say within like 4 to 6 inches of the snake, just to see. And I had filmed it because I was making a vlog and I was like looking for little interesting video clips to put in the vlog. And I was really curious what the snake would do. Now, I was ready to run because I am scared of snakes, but I started to befriend the snake because it was always out in my garden and I didn't want to not garden. So I developed an understanding with the snake. And ever since that day, the snake has disappeared. For better or for worse, I'm not complaining about it, but I do wonder if now that the snake appears to be gone, is the lizard venturing further into the garden where the snake used to go? Because the snake was always in my vegetable garden often, and I haven't seen it. So now I really wonder, did the lizard take over its territory? Is it organic? Yes, I only do organic gardening. I had a golden retriever who passed away three-ish months ago, and I had him for 10 years, and he would get into everything. All my fertilizers, all my soils, all my compost, he would eat everything. Everything went in his mouth, so I only do organic gardening because I never wanted to hurt him if he ate something that wasn't good for him. And that had worked out pretty well. I mean, he lived a good, happy 10 years, and it wasn't anything in the garden that killed him. It was unfortunately his genetics. I would say he had a very sudden medical event and he passed away very fast. So that was his fate. We are in the vegetable garden now. This might interest you, Matsurazi sound, if you are from, you said Serbia, I think. I'm not going to say where, but I do have an Eastern European background. My dad is from Eastern Europe and he loves figs. So this might interest you. I have learned that a lot of people, bye-bye Willow, thanks for joining in, from Eastern Europe, in my experience, love figs. I'm assuming it's because they're abundant in the Mediterranean. And this is a Chicago hardy fig tree that I planted, 4 years ago? It's been a while. Last year was the very first year I got figs from it, and check it out. We are in May the 4th or 5th today. And the little baby figlets are forming. It is so exciting. There's actually not that many on this tree, but I do have more fig trees, which we'll look at them later. There's another little baby figlet over here, and the foliage is starting to come out. I'm trying to go a little bit slower on these live streams because I've noticed I go too fast. And oh yes, it's small. It's springtime. The figs have to grow first. They will get much bigger, don't worry. I do have some fig videos on this channel. If you're interested later on, there are taste testing fig videos, there are harvesting fig videos, there are fig tree massacre videos. I am all about the figs here, so you can check them out later. But this is just springtime. They will grow. So these are my garlics. I have about 70 garlics in this garden growing right now. They are here, there, and everywhere. So between 160 onions and 70 cloves of garlic. There better not be any vampires in this area in the summertime, because I swear they should be many, many, many miles away with all the onions and garlic around here. I go see your videos. Okay, bye. Thanks for joining in. There shouldn't be vampires around. So these are some tomatoes. These were all grown in my indoor food garden. There's one here. There's one here. And in case you're wondering what this is, this was a Dollarama greenhouse that is sort of intact. I kind of take it apart and put it together all the time as the sun comes and goes. But they're doing okay. I mean, they're not doing fabulous, but they've been out here for a long time and they're still alive. So I think that's what matters. There's another one over here. And these are some cabbages. I did a planting cabbage video early in this season. Let's take a peek in here. There's one little tomato in there with a marigold. White or black onion? I'm going to say red. I think most of them were red and maybe a few white. I can't really remember though. And actually, here is the most beautiful lettuce. I have to show you. I need to start eating it. It is so gorgeous. Planted this last fall actually, and it is doing so well. Now that it is springtime, I cannot wait to put this in a salad. It just looks so beautiful. And there's some purple kale that has gone to flower and more food for my salads. This here and this here, these are honeyberry or hascapberry bushes. They had tons of flowers, and yes, the bees were pollinating, so I should get some hascapberries this season. That is so exciting. And check this out, these are chives. And the chive flowers are starting. Good morning, Howie. Welcome to the vegetable garden. Excuse me. I haven't shown this very much this season, but I've been busy working on a very special fairy garden video that is taking me a long time to put together. And I don't have enough time. That is my problem. I have no time. I work full time, 40 to 48 hours a week. I make 2 to 3 edited videos for YouTube per week on average, and several shorts videos, and I just have no time. And then there's the rest of life. So there's the YouTube life, there's 40 to 48 hours of full-time work at the hospital, and then there is the rest of life, whatever that might be, and you put it all together and there's not enough hours in the day. I'm going to do a brand new fairy forest. Oh my god, I'm so looking forward to that. I cannot wait to see that. I've had some interesting things going on in my front fairy garden. I haven't really talked about it because the neighborhood is so enthusiastic and I love that. But it also means that a lot of the pieces are going to other gardens, which is cool. I'm totally fine with that. I had too many in my collection, but it's made the storytelling a little more difficult. For the video I was going to make, I made a beach fairy garden, and a lot of my pieces that I started with, my mermaids and other items, have vanished, which is totally fine. I don't mind that. They're being put to other fairy gardens, but it's making turning a video slash story out very difficult, because when I have the time, the pieces are gone, and then all of a sudden I have to rewrite the story. So I haven't done that video yet, and I actually know there's two local people waiting for this specific video, and I don't know if I'll be able to make it. What is monogamy? That is a good question. Are we talking in garden terms, or what type of terms are we talking? I don't know. Yeah, so my fairy garden video is on hold, but I have a very, very, very special fairy garden video that's taking me forever to edit, and this one is in my backyard. So that's what I've been working on. I'm on day 3 of editing. I'm not even half done. It's gonna take a while, but I have so much fun editing these videos when I do have the time. So I hope that people enjoy them. Some people find them boring, and that's fine. I have fairy garden lovers here, I have forest bathing lovers here, I have vegetable garden lovers here. I have people from ages like 8 through probably 90 that watch my videos. So I have such a crowd, and everybody likes different things, and that is totally fine. I try to put a little bit of videos for everybody out there. So many different styles of videos, and that's just what it is. Some people don't like it, they only want tutorials. But I'm just a big mix of everything, and that's who I am. I'm like a very well-rounded person. I do garden things, I do out of the garden things. You're a graduate of engineers of organic I can't talk today. Agriculture. Oh my god, that should not be hard for me to say, but I cannot say the word agriculture. There we go. That is awesome. I am not a graduate of any study of gardening. I have self-taught myself everything. The only teaching I got, which wasn't even really teaching, was I grew up around my dad who was gardening since I was a little girl. I grew up on half an acre of land in sort of a rural area of the city, treed around the whole property with lots of fruit trees, and we've always had a vegetable garden. I say we, but this is my garden. I don't live with my parents, but I am an earth warrior. Well, I try, Howie. I do try. And you are the king of being an earth warrior. Absolutely. I am so inspired from everything in your food garden and the way you look after the earth. So inspiring. Now, I've been rambling. I really need to get back to the tour. I don't remember where we left off here. So, there are crocosmia bulbs amongst the many vegetables in this garden. We have columbines at the back. These were transplanted when I renovated the garden last season. These are a dark purple, super gorgeous, and they were put here last year when I moved everything around. They were on the opposite end before. You're too kind, but I will take it. Okay, there you go. And it looks like they're going to have even more flowers than they've ever had this year. So that is super exciting. And I have something to show you and to tell you, all of you, but specifically you, Howie. Since we're on the topic of earth warriors and permaculture and food forests, I started this last year. This was actually going to be a secret. I wasn't going to tell you guys until things started sprouting more. I tried to do it last year and I only had a little bit of success. But I tried a different strategy this year because we've had weird weather and I think it might be starting to work. And that is turning my entire garden. Now we're not talking vegetable garden anymore. We're talking more into the ornamentals. Mixing the entire thing with food plants and like edible flowers essentially. So let me show you what's starting to happen. Here is I want to call it my creeping thyme slope, but it's really a mixture of different things here. Starting with a mystery fig tree right here. That was a rescue from my parents' garden, just starting to sprout. And I have interplanted vegetables and flowers all over here. These are nasturtiums, just starting to sprout. I have lots of those. If you're unfamiliar with nasturtium flowers, they are one of the most beautiful flowers. They are edible, 100%. You can eat the leaves, you can eat the flowers, and they taste delicious. And if you're wondering where capers come from, if you've ever heard of a caper, they're from nasturtiums. This is for me. Awesome. Let's do a little taste test because I love eating outside in my garden. Let's do a sacrifice. This is such a small plant, but this will just help it out. So this is a nasturtium leaf. Oh my gosh. I forgot how good these are. Oh, they are so spicy. Holy doodle. Honestly, I was sick with several viruses in the last year. Lots of viruses. Lost my taste many times. And ever since then, it's been not the best sensation. Like I lost my taste and never fully got it back, essentially. That is so flavorful. I've never had a young nasturtium. I always eat them mature. And I've been missing out because that is so spicy and so delicious. So good. Creamed capers on free-range beef. That sounds good. Highly recommend growing nasturtiums in your garden. You don't have to have a food garden. You can put them in containers. You can put them on a slope. You can put them in a vegetable garden. You can put them in some bark mulch. Whatever you have, just stick some nasturtiums in the ground. Very, very good item. And you can eat the whole plant. Eat the leaves, eat the flowers, eat the seeds. Completely edible. So something else I've done here, and there is no evidence yet, but I'm quite certain, or I may have spoke too soon. Let me take a look closer. I think I spoke too soon. Look right here. Any guesses in the comments as to what this might be? It's something very small, but it's going to grow much bigger. Anyone have any predictions as to what this is? there are a few of them that I planted here, and they have started to sprout, which is so exciting. Should I just tell you, or does anyone want to guess what these little seedlings might be? I'm guessing nobody's interested in guessing, so I'll just tell you. These are something kind of exotic, actually. Technically, I think the label said they were cucumbers. Now, I'm using the word technical very specifically because these were from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds in the United States, one of my absolute favorite seed companies, and I am not sponsored by them, maybe one day, but not yet. And when I say they said cucumber, if you read the description on the back of the package, it basically said they were a melon, kind of with cucumber-like properties, but I believe they're actually in the melon family. I can't even remember what they're called. I saved the package in my house because I was so intrigued. It's kind of one of those rare heirloom seeds, and something that you don't see often. Like, it looks like it grows into a melon, but technically it's a cucumber, something like that. And I was so intrigued by it, and it is growing, so I'm so excited. And it is growing amongst my ornamentals, although I have to say, this is creeping time, and it is edible. I have eaten it. I don't eat it all the time, but it is definitely edible. And this here is a dwarf nectarine tree I just planted about a year ago, and it hasn't grown that much, but I don't expect too much at this stage. We have more creeping phlox in bloom, definitely the season for it. A little rose cutting. So, coming down the slope here, as I said, I'm incorporating more edibles into my landscape. That is my big secret that I wasn't going to tell anybody until things were in full swing. I have strawberry plants amongst the ornamentals, more strawberry plants with my rose. And we'll take a little walk down to my Circle of Life garden where we have more mixed vegetation and very many more plants to come. I planted thousands of seeds in this garden. I have no idea what's going to sprout, but both flowers and food. So this will be super interesting. Am I addicted, to maple syrup? I don't consume maple syrup, even though I am from Canada. I like maple syrup, but I really don't like how sweet it is. It's not really for me. I heard a noise. I think I'm not going to stay here very long. The neighbors are right beside the fence, and they're probably going to think I'm pretty strange, but they probably already think that, so it's okay. We're just going to turn the camera around. So this is my memorial garden, essentially for my golden retriever who passed away. There are kale plants that are getting eaten by a bug in here, and strawberry plants, my palm trees. At the back, surrounding this little stone, we have cabbages and strawberries. And I put in a bunch of cucumber plants. No, I put in a bunch of cucumber seeds, as well as, I think I put tomato seeds in here and maybe a pumpkin seed. I can't remember about the pumpkin because he used to mutilate all my vegetable plants. So I thought it was fitting that I incorporate some more vegetables into his memorial garden. It's actually where many of his ashes were scattered. You have strawberries. That is awesome. Very nice plant to grow. Very nice berry to eat. Very delicious. I will give you a sneak peek into my milk jugs. I've already started planting a lot of the seedlings, but if you're unfamiliar with this is winter sowing. You basically take a milk jug, cut a hole in it, stick some dirt in it, make sure there's drainage holes at the bottom, and put your seeds in. So we have zucchini, and the zucchinis have sprouted. What else do we have here with sprouts? Not everything has sprouted yet. The weather has been very finicky. I already did some transplanting of greens and a few pumpkins. Oh dear, look at this. Those are my corn plants. I really need to get those out into the garden. I started transplanting more nasturtiums to other places, but there is lots of work to do still. And since we're out of the garden now, I promised Metzer Resi Sound we would check out more figs, and I did show these in a recent video, but let's take another look. This is one of my 2 Desert King fig trees. It is starting to rain now, so I'm glad I started earlier. And the baby figs are just starting to form. There are quite a few here. The last year wasn't the best for the figs. The harvests weren't that spectacular, but I think this year, fingers crossed, I think they're going to be really abundant. It looks like there's a lot of figs forming on these trees. So that is really exciting. And I actually have 2 of these. My students made cookies, so have a great day and thanks for the tour. You're welcome. Have a good day, Howie. Bye-bye. Coming this way, these are my leopard's bane flowers, and we have another fig tree over here. This is a Desert King fig tree, and it also has little figs forming, quite a few of them. So that is super exciting. And we'll just do a quick little look at the flowers. Now the cottage garden, just like the rest of the garden that I was talking about earlier, I put a ton of vegetable seeds into here. I have no idea what's going to grow, but that was part of my garden secret that I wasn't going to spill, but the people watching the live stream will know the secret. Going to be my big thing this year. If it worked out, I was going to have lots of vegetables growing amongst the flowers, so I thought that would be super fun and interesting. Tulips, yes, there will be lots of figs. So although you can't see them yet, I don't really think any of my vegetables sprouted. I put some melons in here. There's already some strawberries that I had planted in here from before underneath my peach tree. This is a coconut ice peach. But I did tomatoes, bell peppers, some melons, and I can't remember if I did cucumber or squash in here, but there's a lot of different vegetable seeds I put in here. So time will tell if it actually works out, I'm hoping. But this was a big experiment to see how much food I could grow outside of my vegetable garden and just see how it does. Like some of those areas are pretty dry, but you never know. Like sometimes plants surprise you in a good way. So that is my big surprise. I did the same thing on my slope garden. Planted lots of cucumbers. I already have, this is my alpine strawberry plant. It gets these whitish yellow tiny strawberries that are so delicious. They taste like cotton candy. Right behind them, these are raspberry bushes, self-seeded from the neighbor's plant. And again, cucumbers amongst these plants that have not sprouted, as well as some tomatoes. And same in this direction. So there are lots of fun gardening developments coming in the near future. And I think I'm going to end my little tour here. Wild strawberries. No, they are, well, they might be wild in some places. They're called alpine strawberries. I think they could be wild actually on Vancouver Island, but I bought them from seeds. I planted the seed, grew the plant, and turned them into plants outside. But I do think we do have wild strawberries on Vancouver Island. I think they're a different variety though. I feel out of breath. I don't know why. Anyways, I am going to end my little garden tour. Thank you for joining in on Garden Tour Saturday. And I'm gonna get back to editing my little fairy garden video. I have a wild, very small. Yes, that's what those ones are. They're wild, very small, and super sweet. We call them alpine strawberries here. Yeah. Oh my gosh, the tiredness is just kicking in. I've had a headache for like 3 days and it's almost gone, but I'm really tired. I'm going to go in since the rain has started and try to do some more editing on that fairy garden video before I go to work later. Thank you for joining me in my garden today, and we will see you soon. Don't forget to check out those fig videos. I have several videos on figs. Bye-bye.